Hello, and welcome back, Sandy and Jesse Rodriguez team. Hope you had a great weekend, and now starting off the week on Monday. Great day here. It's cloudy, so it's not gonna be as hot today. So great day, great day. Today is day number 2 as we go through the 7 habits of highly effective people by Stephen R. Covey. And just a reminder, as I read more and more into the book, and as a refresher, I'm now more convinced than ever. Why, at the beginning of the book, it says that this book does not belong on the shelf. It is to be read and then referred back to, because one will not get everything out of it. Maybe the first time, second, third, whatever. So it's a reference. It belongs right on your desk. As a reminder, as how we're progressing, it's the way Stephen addresses it is like we're a child. We're at the very beginning. We're dependent on others for all of our needs. So as we progress upwards, we're down at the bottom right now. Yesterday we began with lesson 1, which was be proactive. Today, lesson 2 is begin with the end in mind. As we break away from being dependent up into the independence level. So, like I mentioned earlier, this book does not belong in the shelf, and now I'm totally convinced of it. Some insights into this, and a little bit of reminder how we're going. Habit number 1, be proactive. Talked about the language that we use on a daily basis. I can't do that, or I can't do that, or something bothers you. In other words, you're kind of a negative instead of, hey, I can do it. Sure I can. Give it a try. It also talks about in lesson 1 in where do we focus on a day-to-day basis. Where do we focus most of our attention, our actions? And when he refers to focus, it talked about a circle of concern, circle of influence. Circles of concern is, yes, we're concerned about what is happening throughout the world, what is happening here in the United States, and what is happening locally. More important is to focus on that circle of influence, those things which we can control. So as we coming to habit number 2, is begin with the end in mind. Throughout my career and my life, I've heard that before. And not until reading the book by Stephen Covey does it make complete sense. What those words mean. What does that statement mean? I'm here to share with you some personal insight. Had I read this book the way that I am reading it today, had I given it that much attention to understand it, if I had done this with this book when I first got it way years back, or when it first came out, if a mentor has said, Jesse, you need to read this, read it, I would say that it would have been a profound impact on me. When I had children, and with the family that we were raising, it would say, this book is a must for the entire family to read. I believe it would be an impact with everyone. That is my personal opinion. So I invite you, it's a personal request, get your own copy. Habit number 2, begin with the end in mind, talks about an organizational mission statement and a personal mission statement. I had not heard that before. As I mentioned to you, I worked with the Department of Defense for my entire career. And way back, I remember talking about organizational mission statements. And then I read about it in the book, and it brings it into more of our perspective. But when Stephen Covey talks about a personal mission statement, oh my goodness. So on habit number 2, I would do you an injustice in saying that in habit number 2 we could talk about it in 5-10 minutes. It is something that I encourage each and every one to get your book and read habit number 2 from the beginning to end. It talks about the mission statement, and before you address the mission statement, you have to take a deep look inside of you and look in what is it at the center, your circle of influence. What is at the very center of the circle of influence, that which you can control? What is at that center? He goes on to talk that with some people, if you really go through what is discussing, sometimes at your center or circle of influence could be your spouse, could be your family, could be your church. Then he goes through and identifies the pros and cons when you talk about if you identify that as being your center. If your spouse is your center, then we understand what happens with that person. The person becomes ill, the person has a down day, has an impact on the other person. So I see that now. So it's very important to go through that analysis that he helps you with in identifying what he calls alternative circles in your circle of influence. Now I invite you to take a look at it. That's why I say I believe that you need to get your own book. It's not the e-book, because this belongs on your desk as a reference. So it's a personal request. Get your own copy and mark on it. I'm already starting to mark on it. And so please, for tomorrow, we're going to continue on with habit number 3. Put first things first. So join me. And for today, your comments, please. Thoughts on habit number 2. Begin with the end in mind. This is Sandy and Jesse Rodriguez team. I bid you a good day. Take good care of each other. Bye now.